Chapter 18. Lysel woke the next morning in his bed alone. Where was Adrian? He patted around dressed and walked downstairs to find Drayton and Adrian smiling and holding hands. "What's so damn funny?" he asked. "I woke up and you never came to bed. It was my night to be with you. Drayton has had you with him all this week." Lysel's voice oozed with jealous bluntness. "You never change, Lysel, always selfish. Why do you think Wilder is holed up in the cave? He's tired of you bragging about your sons and manipulating us to get more time with Adrian. That's why I'm taking Adrian to the cave today. So she can get some rest from you and spend time with Wilder. He needs her." Looking to Adrian, Lysel said, "Is he speaking for you now?" "Only because you didn't want to listen to me." She stood with a piece of white toast in her hand and smiled and leaned to kiss Drayton. She passed Lysel and he caught her hand. She pulled it away and continued through the doors and up the stairs. "What was that about?" Lysel asked Drayton. "It's about you. You've always been the problem in this pack, and now it's your sons." "Don't be so quick to judge," Lysel said. "You have a son too. Only one." And he laughed. "Do you see what I mean? You don't get it." Drayton reached for the morning paper and threw it at him. "I hid this from Adrian. She's in no condition to see this." Lysel opened the paper, and on the front page article from the Samseville paper, it wrote about a killing last night. The newspaper had pulled the news from an online source. "Killer Wolves in Nevada" was the headlines. "With all the shifters in Samseville and the women disappearing around here, there is another headline we don't need," Drayton said, watching at Lysel. Looking up, "How do you know Tracker had anything to do with this?" And he tossed it down in front of him. "Read further," Drayton said. "It mentions the killing of an uncle by a wolf and the shooting of his nephew. They even said the wife is missing. Now you and I know what's going on. That town doesn't know, but we know, and someone may put together exactly what happened there one day. With Tracker, if he's involved, and I think he is, he took the woman. You know how he is." "How who is?" Damon asked when he walked in for breakfast. "Tracker. Have you heard from him?" Lysel looked up at Damon. "Thorn talked to him," Damon said. "Where was Tracker?" Drayton asked with a serious glare. This was new to Damon. He had never seen his Uncle Drayton raise his voice or furrow his brow, and he was doing all of that now. "At the cabin." "My cabin?" Lysel questioned and blew a long breath. "You promised Adrian that you would sell it," Drayton said. "I didn't have the time. I've been busy with these reckless sons of mine." Lysel looked to Damon. "Now where the fuck is Thorn? Tell him I want to talk to him. Now." "He's with Tracker. He said he would be back in the morning." Lysel looked at Drayton and then to Damon. Sensing that Lysel wanted to talk to his son alone, Drayton stood and walked to the door. "I'm taking Adrian to the cave to meet Wilder." Drayton turned and walked out. "What the fuck are they up to?" Lysel didn't hear Drayton. He was concerned. Not for Tracker because it was part of growing up, but what Tracker could do to cause Adrian more anguish. "I don't know, Father. But I'll go there and find out and bring Thorn back. Tracker will not listen to me. You are the only one he will listen to. You are Tracker's alpha father. I'm a beta under Tracker. Don't tell me what I already know. Bring your brother home or don't come back," he said, throwing the paper in front of Damon. Damon picked it up, read it for a few minutes, then shot Lysel a troubled glance, then closing his eyes and looking away. "Now you know how important it is to bring Thorn back. I can't afford to lose another son. Your mother will never forgive me." "What about Tracker?" "He made his choice. Thorn is a follower, you know that. Have him back in 2 days. Lysel didn't say any more. He stood and walked out with Damon staring at the paper. When Tracker took the turn down the gravel road to the cabin, the sun was rising. It was 7 a.m. He was tired and he wanted to fuck. He was never too tired for that. It was time to claim his prize. Tracker parked his Harley, gave it a kiss on the handlebars, and strolled into the cabin. He walked into the first bedroom and didn't see Zoey. "Where is she?" he murmured. That bedroom was the one she had slept in before. The bed was made. He never knew Thorn to make the bed after he had slept. The place didn't look like there was a struggle. He went on to the next bedroom. Maybe Zoey made the bed. The first thing he thought was that Thorn had gone for an early morning hunt and Zoey cleaned up. The last thing he thought was that they were sleeping together. Thinking less about Zoey and Thorn and more about a quick shower, Tracker walked into the first bedroom and ambled to the shower. The water felt refreshing, and he needed to wash the blood from his chest before he admitted to Zoey what he had done. Then he had second thoughts about telling her. It didn't hurt anyone if he just didn't tell her the truth, at least not today. Today his cock was hard, and that's all that mattered to him. Not her, not anyone or anything. And then his mind wandered past the shower, past the cabin, and past the town into Samseville, and then stopped. He thought of Sadie. He tried to think of someone besides her, but she had satisfied him so completely that he couldn't think of anyone now. But she wasn't here, he rationalized. I need to be satisfied now. I can't think of her, but he did, and as his thoughts fell to her, his cock became full and needy. He shut off the water with one hand, and with the other, he held his heavy-laden penis and walked to find Zoey and rid himself of his thoughts of Sadie. The door to the second bedroom was closed, and he opened it. He saw a large indention, and immediately he knew Thorn was sleeping there. "Where's Zoey?" he said, pulling a towel hanging from the chair and wrapping it around his impressive lower body. "I hoped you found her because I need some rest before I go out again." Then he saw a small figure move from behind Thorn. "I'm here, Tracker." "Where did you think I would be?" her small voice a surprise to Tracker. His eyes stared down at them. "Not sleeping and fucking my brother," Tracker voice cold and hard. His eyes never leaving them, looking at both of them as if trying to decide what to do next. He paced around the room. "She's mine, Thorn." "Why would you fuck her?" "He didn't want to. I convinced him that it would be okay. I said you wouldn't mind. It was the night of the full moon, and after all, you said how you werewolves become. I just wanted to please him for saving me from Bo," Zoey said with a small voice and her innocent eyes searching for understanding from Tracker. When Zoey stepped from the bed, Thorn's eyes followed her every movement. His eyes danced with delight. She had satisfied him more than he could ever think about or want. She moved close to Tracker. "I'm here for you too. I know you need me." She pressed her hand to the definition of his penis and cupped it. Tracker's head fell back, his eyes closed, and he relaxed. "She has a magic touch, Tracker. You said you wanted her just to fuck and satisfy you. But she's my mate now. I know she saw you first, but she's not your true mate. Remember, Father said we would know when we met the one, and she's the one for me." Tracker knew Thorn told the truth. Sadie was his true mate, but he was still angry with her for deceiving him. An alpha werewolf like Tracker doesn't like to be deceived. He knew what he was getting with Zoey. He knew she had been passed around from men to men, and now she didn't know the difference. Now she enjoyed pleasing men or these two brothers. Tracker's head lowered to her breasts, still sore from the sucking by Thorn. "See, Tracker. She can be there for you. I don't mind if you don't. Zoey is what I need to make me happy. And I make her happy." He stepped out of the bed naked, and her eyes begged Thorn to let her go with Tracker, and Thorn agreed. He took her hand and handed her to Tracker. She smiled and kissed Thorn before she left, then she turned and Tracker led her out of the bedroom. He stopped midway in the narrow hallway, the door open, and said to Thorn, "Go and hunt. Bring us some fresh meat to eat. You will need it. You look pale." He smiled at Thorn and Thorn smiled back. His alpha had spoken, and Thorn was an alpha in his own right because now he controlled the one female in the pack because she loved him, and he would marry her as soon as possible. Tracker took her to his room and she knew what he wanted. She lay in the bed waiting for Tracker to direct her, but he did what he had done to Sadie. He placed his mouth over hers. The kiss wasn't tender or soft, it was hard. He thought about Sadie once more, and how she had been so tight, and he had never been more satisfied when he entered her. But Sadie wasn't here. He wanted to kiss her on the nape of her neck, and nip her on her shoulders as he took her from behind. But Sadie wasn't there, and Zoey was human, and that's what he thought he wanted at the time, but now he didn't know. With Zoey now on her knees and his arms wrapped around Zoey, she thought she had done something wrong. He pulled out still on his knees, and Zoey remained on her hands and knees. Tracker raised her upper body up with his hands. She didn't turn around thinking he would resume. He whispered, "I can't do this to you. Not anymore." Zoey didn't turn. "What's wrong?" "Nothing." Zoey felt a soft warm kiss caress her back. "I know you want to be with Thorn. I can feel it, and you are not for me. But I can be. Thorn doesn't mind." "He does. He's just doing what his alpha tells him." "I don't understand." "I know. You don't understand now, but you will. You are with my brother now, and I want you to be true to him. You can't be that way if we share you. I don't love you like he does. I love someone else. Just like you love Thorn. Go to him. Be with him. Tell him that it was your idea and that I agreed. That will be enough to satisfy him." Silent and measured, Zoey's feet fell to the floor. "Before you go to him, take a shower and wash my scent from you," Tracker said. Realizing that he was in love with Sadie took him by surprise. He had imprinted on her the way she imprinted on him, and now he finds himself bound to her. She had captured his soul, as he had done with her. After all, she was a werefemale, and that was what he was afraid of. Only a werefemale could control him this way, and that's why he tried to steer clear of them. Tracker heard the water from the shower turn on. He heard a sigh of relief from Zoey. He heard when Thorn came back, and when Zoey embraced him telling him she will never be with anyone but him ever again. He heard their conversation, and he heard Thorn tell her that he loved her, and she would be the only one for him. Standing up, he listened. He thought he heard the cry of a she-wolf coming from the forest. Now for the first time in his life he felt empty and lonely. But he knew one thing, and that was he had to have Sadie once more. He didn't know when, but it wouldn't be soon, because he had plans to go to Mexico with Thorn and Zoey. He couldn't leave them now. Thorn was bound to follow his big brother, the alpha of the pack. Tracker had to find what was calling him, and he didn't have time for love and mating. He wasn't sure he could love anyone, not even Sadie now, not the way she wanted him to, because there was a wildness buried inside of him which begged to come to the surface.